Hello, future leaders, current leaders, former leaders. Welcome to Thank You for Understanding, where old souls meet young ambition and servant leadership isn't just a buzzword, it's a way of life. I'm your host, and whether you're building your first startup, leading your first team, or just trying to figure out how to live in this world, you're in the right place. This is where we dive deep into the messy, beautiful journey of developing leadership through a humanistic lens. We're talking about leadership that actually serves people, not just profits. Every episode, we're exploring what it means to rise, not just climb ladders, but elevate everyone around you, because your next highest potential is not just about you. It's about the ripple effect you create for others. So here's the thing. Your highest potential isn't a destination, it's an evolution, and it's time to step into yours. So let's rise. I'm excited to start this journey with you, sharing insights, ideas, and stories that will hopefully resonate with your own experiences. And to kick things off, I want to introduce you to a concept that has fascinated me for quite some time. The idea of an old soul. And it's not an idea because I am an old soul, so it's a real life thing. And this is tricky because labels are surface level. So how do we understand without labels? Well, first thing is first, we have to be willing to have an open mind and not judge. Yeah, 21st century TikTok loving people to not make judgments. So an old soul is a term often used to describe someone who seems to possess a deep, almost timeless wisdom that goes beyond their years. But what exactly does it mean to be an old soul? How can you identify these qualities in yourself or others? And what makes an old soul different from the rest of us? In this post, I'll break down the essence of an old soul and explore the traits and qualities that make them unique. First, I must say, though I wish I was a famous philosopher, I am not yet. So bear with me as we embark on this new knowledge together. Here are a few common terms you've heard closely associated with old soul. Sage, scholar, philosopher, mentor, Plato, Socrates, Descartes. And those commonly associated keywords or terms of old soul. Wisdom, reflecting deep knowledge and insight. Introspection, a tendency towards self-reflection and contemplation. Maturity, demonstrating emotional and psychological development. Empathy, showing a strong ability to understand and share the feelings of others. Sophistication, exhibiting refined tastes and manners. Introversion, preferring solitary activities and finding energy in alone time. Nostalgia, a yearning for the past or simpler times. Spirituality, a deep connection to spiritual or philosophical beliefs. Authenticity, being true to oneself and one's values. Old-fashioned, appreciation for traditions and classic styles. I don't know how I feel being called old-fashioned, but I do appreciate the classic styles. Anyone else know Audrey Hepburn or Jackie Kennedy? What does it mean to be an old soul? Being an old soul isn't about age, it's about the depth of one's own experiences, insights, and emotional maturity. Old souls often have an intrinsic understanding of life that reflects a deep connection to the past, a heightened sense of empathy, compassion, and an appreciation for wisdom that transcends time. If you've ever felt like you don't quite fit in with people your own age, or you feel like you've lived through more lifetimes than one, you may just be an old soul. Over 90% of my friends, or of the few that I have, are at least 5 to 10 years older than I am, and more. And most people, I understand, are adulting adults. Being an old soul is not about age. In fact, it is far from numbers or labels. But this isn't a negative trait, and anyone who tells you otherwise, they're so completely wrong. It's a unique way of being that allows you to see life through a lens of depth and understanding that others may not. We'll explore the many facets of being an old soul, from wisdom to introspection and everything in between. Like how I was an 8-year-old calling my mom on her way home from work asking how I could help get dinner on, specifically getting the hamburgers on the grill and mixing up the veggie dish. That's a true story, by the way. The traits of an old soul. Let's jump into some of those traits commonly associated with old souls, and many of these qualities might already resonate with you. Some of the most defining characteristics are wisdom beyond years. An old soul is known for their wisdom. If you're consistently told you have so much wisdom, even though you're like 20 years old, still figuring everything out, You might be an old soul or have traits of old soulness. Newsflash, most people don't have things figured out. They are either really good at pretending or they embrace life as a journey, and so their moment to moment is what matters most. They often have an uncanny ability to see the big picture too, understanding complex emotional situations and offer advice, guidance that seems both timeless and relevant. Old souls are reflective by nature, always thinking deeply about the world and how things fit together. Whether they've lived through personal challenges or simply observe life with an open heart, their understanding is profound. Introspection. If you're the type of person who spends a lot of time reflecting on your experiences, thoughts, and emotions, you may be an old soul, or you're just an overthinker. Old souls tend to be introspective, constantly analyzing their inner world and seeking to understand their place in the larger context of life. This leads to personal growth, deep self-awareness, and a genuine sense of peace with who they are. But be warned, this overthinking tendency can also be a weakness if not properly understood. Maturity. There's something about an old soul that radiates maturity. It's not just about acting older, but more about embracing a sense of emotional and psychological growth. Old souls understand that life is about more than just surface-level experiences. They are capable of navigating difficult situations with grace and calm. They approach relationships with wisdom and empathy, compassion. Moms of the friend group, where are you at? Empathy. Old souls are incredibly empathetic and compassionate. Compassion is that active of empathy. Compassion puts into action love and self-love. Time out. Old souls must have self-compassion. You have to. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about when I say compassion, I can recommend Dr. Kristin Neff's books on compassion, Fierce Self-Compassion and Self-Compassion. Old souls have the ability to understand and connect with the emotions of others on a deeper level. This makes them great listeners and compassionate friends. People often feel comfortable opening up to them because old souls have an innate ability to make others feel understood and supported. Old souls are generally really good active listeners too, but active listening is something you must practice daily, like gratitude, so keep up that practice. Sophistication and refinement. Old souls tend to have a refined taste for the finer things in life. This might manifest as an appreciation for art, music, literature, or food that transcends trends or pop culture. They enjoy the timeless beauty of classic things and often seek out experiences that feel rich with history and meaning. Introversion and solitude. While not all old souls are introverts, many do tend to enjoy solitary activities that allow them to recharge and reflect. Whether it's reading a book, taking long walks in nature, or simply sitting with their thoughts, old souls often need time alone to process the world around them. This solitude is not loneliness, but rather a chance to reconnect with their inner selves. Moms of the friend group, where are you at? Nostalgia. A deep sense of nostalgia is another trait commonly found in old souls. They are often drawn to the past, whether it's a time period they never experienced or memories from their own life. This isn't about living in the past, but rather a longing for simpler, more meaningful times. Old souls find comfort in traditions and often seek out ways to honor them. Does this explain why I love going to antique stores and vintage shopping? Spirituality. Many old souls are deeply spiritual, though this doesn't necessarily mean religious. Their spiritual beliefs often guide them in their quest for understanding, providing them with a sense of peace and purpose. They tend to look beyond the material world and seek answers to life's bigger questions. If you're looking for tools to connect spiritually, Dr. David Hawkins' series is great. I specifically like Power versus Force and Letting Go. Authenticity. Above all, old souls value authenticity. They are true to themselves and their values, often refusing to conform to societal expectations. They understand the importance of living a life that aligns with their core beliefs and are not afraid to stand by what they believe is right, even when it's not the popular choice. Thank you for understanding. If any of these traits resonate with you, then you may be an old soul or have an old soul at heart. Embracing your inner old soul means accepting and appreciating your unique qualities. It means honoring your wisdom, nurturing your introspective nature, and using your empathy and authenticity to connect with others on a deep level. And if you're not an old soul, but you have a friend who is, this might help you understand more into what they're thinking and why they act and do certain things, like canceling day of or preferring smaller group outings. Next, I'll dive deeper into these traits and share personal stories, advice, and tips on how to navigate the world as an old soul. I'll also explore how you can honor and embrace your true self while living in a world that often values surface-level connections. Take care of your heart and always trust your inner wisdom. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for understanding. Catch us at nanimedia.com for all the good stuff into leadership, and until next time, keep rising.